What really happened to Just a Few Acres Farm? For years, this quiet family operation built a loyal following by showing the raw, unfiltered reality of farm life. Early mornings, broken equipment, tough decisions, and the kind of work most people never see. Then suddenly, viewers began noticing changes. Uploads weren't as predictable. The internet started asking questions. Had something gone wrong behind the scenes? Were the Larsons stepping away? Or was there a deeper story no one was talking about? In the age of viral rumors, it doesn't take much for speculation to spiral. A missed upload or a shift in routine can spark theories overnight. But sometimes what looks mysterious from the outside has a far more grounded explanation. Before you assume the worst, you need to see the full picture, because the truth about Just a Few Acres Farm isn't built on drama. It's built on reality. And what's actually happening may surprise you. Most people don't expect a small 45-acre family farm in central New York to become one of the most recognizable names in agricultural YouTube. But that's exactly what happened with Just a Few Acres Farm. What started as a simple effort to document daily farm life quickly turned into something much bigger. Viewers weren't drawn in by flashy edits or staged moments. Instead, they found themselves watching long days unfold in real time, repairing aging equipment, managing unpredictable weather, caring for animals, and solving problems that don't wait for tomorrow. It felt authentic in a way that's increasingly rare online. At the center of it all is Peter Larson, the farmer whose calm, methodical approach made even the toughest jobs look approachable. Rather than presenting a polished fantasy version of rural life, he showed the trade-offs, the setbacks, and the constant learning curve that comes with running a working farm. That honesty built trust, and trust built a fiercely loyal audience, but growth brought a new kind of attention. As the channel expanded, so did the expectations. Regular viewers became used to a rhythm, new projects, seasonal changes, progress updates. Then, at times, that rhythm seemed to shift. Upload gaps appeared. Some projects took longer than expected. And almost overnight, curiosity turned into speculation. Online communities began asking the same uneasy question. Did something happen at Just a Few Acres Farm? When people feel connected to a creator, even small changes can trigger big assumptions. A quieter stretch of videos can look alarming from the outside, especially in a digital world where consistency is often mistaken for stability. Yet what many viewers forget is that farming doesn't operate on an upload schedule. Crops fail, machines break, winters drag on, and animals still need care whether a camera is rolling or not. Still, the whispers didn't fade. They grew louder, and what started as harmless curiosity soon turned into theories that were far more dramatic than the reality, leading many to wonder if the story behind this beloved farm was beginning to change. Long before the cameras were rolling, the story of Just a Few Acres Farm was already decades in the making. This wasn't a farm built for internet fame. It was built on persistence, tradition, and a deep respect for the land. The farm sits in central New York, where unpredictable weather and short growing seasons can test even the most experienced farmers. Success here doesn't come from luck. It comes from adaptation, learning how to work with the land instead of against it. For Peter Larson, agriculture wasn't just a career choice, it was part of his roots. But like many modern farmers, the path wasn't simple. Small farms across America have been under pressure for years, squeezed by rising costs, changing markets, and the dominance of industrial agriculture. Many disappear quietly, others sell. Some never make it past the first generation. That reality makes what happened next even more remarkable. Instead of scaling up into a massive commercial operation, the Larsons chose a different strategy: diversification. They raised poultry, pork, beef, and eggs, focusing on quality and sustainability rather than sheer volume. It was a slower approach, but one designed for long-term survival. Still, running a farm of this size demands constant problem solving. Equipment ages, feed prices fluctuate. One harsh winter can erase months of progress. Every decision carries weight because the margin for error is razor thin. Yet despite these challenges, the farm didn't just survive. It steadily built a reputation within the local community. Customers valued knowing exactly where their food came from, and that transparency became one of the farm's greatest strengths. But stability on the surface doesn't mean the journey was easy, because behind every successful small farm lies a truth few outsiders fully understand. The workload never stops. The risks never disappear, and security is never guaranteed. And just as the farm found its footing, in the real world, an unexpected opportunity was about to pull it onto a much larger stage. When Peter Larson first picked up a camera, it wasn't part of some grand strategy to build an online empire. Like many creators in the early days of YouTube, the goal was simple: share a glimpse of real farm life and maybe help a few people understand where their food actually comes from. What no one expected was how quickly viewers would connect with it. At a time when much of the internet was chasing fast edits and viral trends, these videos moved at the steady rhythm of the farm itself. A tractor repair might take an entire episode. Preparing for winter could span multiple uploads. There was no manufactured drama, just honest work and practical problem solving. And oddly enough, that became the channel's superpower. People trusted what they were seeing. Nothing felt staged. When a machine refused to start or a project didn't go as planned, the camera kept rolling. That level of transparency is rare online, and audiences noticed. Before long, the channel wasn't just growing, it was quietly exploding. Subscribers climbed into the hundreds of thousands, millions of views followed. Viewers tuned in from suburbs, cities, and even other countries, fascinated by a lifestyle far removed from their daily routines. For some, the videos were educational. For others, almost therapeutic, a slower, more grounded alternative to the noise of modern media. But with attention comes pressure. As the audience expanded, so did expectations. People began relying on the channel as part of their weekly routine. Familiar projects created a sense of continuity, almost like checking in on an old friend. Then something subtle started to shift. The upload rhythm occasionally changed. Some projects stretched longer than viewers anticipated. And in the hyper-observant world of online communities, even small changes rarely go unnoticed. Curiosity sparked in comment sections. Conversations spread across forums. Loyal viewers started comparing timelines, wondering if they had missed an important update. Because on the internet, silence rarely stays neutral for long, and soon the questions grew louder, raising a possibility that many dedicated followers weren't prepared for. Then the rumors began. Quietly at first, almost easy to dismiss. A few viewers noticed gaps between uploads on Just a Few Acres Farm and started asking harmless questions in the comments. Was everything okay? Were they slowing down? Had something changed behind the scenes? At first, it looked like ordinary viewer concern, but online, curiosity has a way of accelerating. Before long, discussion threads started appearing across social platforms. Some people pointed to the unpredictable posting schedule. Others claimed the tone of certain videos felt different. A handful of speculation-driven channels even hinted that something serious might be unfolding, despite offering little evidence to support it. This is the strange reality of internet fame. When creators invite viewers into their lives, audiences can begin to feel personally connected. And when that connection is suddenly interrupted, the human brain tries to fill in the blanks. The theories ranged from mild to wildly dramatic. Some assumed burnout, ikashtrax, a common challenge for creators balancing real businesses with online audiences. Others wondered whether rising costs and the pressure facing small farms were taking a toll. A few even suggested the family might be stepping away from YouTube entirely. But here's where things get important. There has never been any verified public statement indicating a crisis at the farm or within the Larson family. No confirmed reports, no credible announcements, just interpretation layered on top of normal changes that often happen in both farming and content creation. Yet speculation tends to grow louder than facts. The more people repeated the same questions, the more the situation began to feel mysterious, even if the foundation was little more than assumption. It's a powerful reminder of how quickly narratives can form when audiences don't have immediate answers. Still, separating rumor from reality requires stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, because once you do, a very different explanation starts to emerge, one that says far more about the nature of farming than any internet theory ever could. Here's where the story takes a turn, because once you strip away the noise, the facts paint a much calmer picture than the internet would have you believe. Despite waves of speculation surrounding Just a Few Acres Farm, there has been no confirmed crisis, disappearance, or major incident tied to the farm or the Larson family. No verified reports, no official statements suggesting something went wrong. In reality, the channel has continued to publish videos and the farm itself remains operational. So why did the rumors feel so convincing? Part of the answer lies in how audiences interpret silence. When creators post regularly, viewers grow comfortable with that rhythm. It becomes routine, almost expected. But when that pattern shifts, even slightly, people notice immediately. And in today's hyper-connected world, unanswered questions rarely stay unanswered for long, even if the answers being shared aren't accurate. Look closer, and the so-called warning signs start to look surprisingly ordinary. Running a working farm means priorities can change overnight. A broken tractor doesn't wait for filming. Livestock emergencies don't respect upload schedules. Weather can derail weeks of planning in a single afternoon. When your livelihood depends on forces you can't control, consistency online naturally takes a back seat. There's another factor many overlook. Success brings workload. As the audience around Peter Larson grew, so did the invisible demands, managing the business, fulfilling customer needs, maintaining equipment, and balancing life beyond the camera. Growth doesn't always create more free time. Often, it does the opposite. And unlike full-time influencers, farmers don't get to pause operations to focus on content. What begins to emerge is not a story of collapse, but one of realism. The farm appears to be doing exactly what it was built to do: operate, adapt, and endure. Yet understanding the facts raises an even more interesting question. If nothing dramatic actually happened, why were so many people convinced that it had? To really understand what's going on, you have to step into a world most viewers never experience: the unpredictable reality of small-scale agriculture. Life at Just a Few Acres Farm doesn't follow algorithms, trending schedules, or content calendars. It follows the seasons, and the seasons don't negotiate. One brutal cold snap can freeze water lines overnight. A stretch of heavy rain can destroy carefully planned work. Equipment that ran perfectly yesterday might refuse to start when it matters most. These aren't rare events, they're part of the job. And when challenges stack up, filming naturally drops down the priority list. Many viewers don't realize that creating even a single farm video takes hours beyond the work itself. There's camera setup, audio, editing, uploading, and responding to the community. For someone like Peter Larson, that often means doing 2 full-time jobs at once, running a demanding agricultural business while documenting it for hundreds of thousands of viewers. Something has to give eventually. But there's an even deeper layer to this, one that rarely gets talked about online. Farming is mentally consuming work. Animals require daily care without exception. Markets fluctuate, expenses rise unexpectedly, and unlike many professions, you can't simply clock out. The responsibility follows you to bed and greets you before sunrise. So when upload gaps appear, they may signal something surprisingly simple. The farm needed attention. Not drama, not disaster, just real life. Pulling focus where it mattered most. Ironically, the very authenticity that attracted viewers in the first place is the same reason the channel can't always operate like a polished media brand. It was never designed to be one. And once you recognize that, the narrative shifts again, because what looks like inconsistency from the outside may actually be proof that the farm is staying true to its purpose, which leads to the question many viewers are still asking today: where does the farm stand now? So, where does the farm actually stand today? Despite the waves of speculation, Just a Few Acres Farm is still active, and the farm itself continues operating in central New York. Livestock are still being raised, equipment is still being repaired, markets are still being supplied. In other words, the core mission hasn't changed. What has evolved is the balance. Over time, it's become clear that the priority has always been the farm first, YouTube second. That distinction matters. For many creators, content is the business. For Peter Larson, content documents the business. If extra hours are available, a video gets made. If the farm demands attention, the camera waits, and that shift feels intentional. Rather than chasing viral moments or dramatically responding to rumors, the channel has maintained the same steady tone it always had. No flashy announcements, no public breakdowns, no grand comeback narrative, just practical updates, projects moving forward, and the same grounded approach that built the audience in the first place. That consistency tells its own story. It suggests that what many interpreted as its uncertainty was simply recalibration. Running a farm in today's economy requires flexibility. Input costs rise, markets fluctuate, weather patterns shift. Adjusting schedules and outputting, both agricultural and digital, is part of staying sustainable long term. And perhaps that's the biggest takeaway. The farm appears to be doing exactly what it was designed to do: adapt, endure, and focus on longevity over hype. The online noise may have grown louder for a while, but on the ground, the daily routine continued much the same. Which leaves us with one final question. If nothing dramatic happened, what does that say about how quickly we assume the worst in the digital age? In the end, the story of Just a Few Acres Farm isn't one of scandal, disappearance, or behind-the-scenes chaos. It's a story about perspective. In a world trained to expect constant updates and dramatic headlines, simple consistency can sometimes look suspicious. But the reality is far less sensational. Peter Larson never set out to build a channel fueled by controversy. The goal was always to show farm life as it truly is: unpredictable, demanding, and deeply rooted in patience. And ironically, that same authenticity is what confused some viewers when the upload rhythm shifted. People searched for hidden meaning when the explanation was likely right in front of them. Real life doesn't pause for content. Maybe the real lesson here is how quickly assumptions can grow when we only see part of someone's world. Because sometimes, nothing happened at all. Just a family continuing their work, staying true to their values, and proving that not every quiet moment signals a crisis.